What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review of episode 1 of The Last of Us. So last night, me and all my friends, we all got together in VR and we watched The Last of Us episode 1 in a VR app, which is basically a virtual cinema where you can choose all these different environments. It's amazing. It's called Big Screen Beta. So if any of you have got VR, you have to get this. But just to let you all know that none of my mates would actually buy VR. I had no friends to play VR with, so the only way for me to be able to get my friends to join me on any virtual experience was to buy them all VR. So I managed to do that. I bought a handful of my friends VR. And yeah, now we just all get together and we watch movies and mainly TV shows in a virtual cinema, and it's amazing. Now, the group that I had were like, some of us were massive fans of the game, some of us haven't played the game before, and some of us haven't played the first game since it first got released. So we all had different feelings and takes on the show in the end, but I will say that every single one of us absolutely loved it. But wow, what an amazing start to this series. To be fair, I actually genuinely believed it was going to be as good as it is anyway, just because I have total faith in Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann, for those of you that don't know, Neil Druckmann is the writer and the creative director and the head of Naughty Dog, who are the creators of the game. He wrote The Last of Us 1 on his own. He literally wrote that story alone. I think Last of Us 2, he written with a couple of different people, but the first game, he even says he wrote it solely on his own. Solely? You know what I mean. So as soon as I knew that Neil Druckmann was behind this, I just had faith and belief that it was gonna work out to be good, because I feel like he's amazing at telling stories. I absolutely love the first game, but I love the second game even more. The first game was one of my favorite games ever at the time, and since then there's been many games that have come out that I love just as much or even more, like God of War. But The Last of Us 2 really was a standout game. It is up there, probably my top 3 games ever. I absolutely loved it. I loved the story. I'm not going to spoil anything here for those of you that haven't played the game, but like, there's decisions that were made for the story in the second game that a lot of people have a really hard time accepting or dealing with, and I personally loved the choices they made. I thought it created a way more impactful, emotional story that had so many different layers to it, and it took it in directions that you just wasn't expecting, and I personally love that. So for me, amazing. Both the games are amazing, but the first game is where this series is set on, and it's just such an amazing story. This is the perfect kind of game that you could adapt, because it's so well written, the world's amazing, the characters are so well written and developed, and it just feels like this would be the perfect game to adapt into a TV series, as long as you do it right. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Halo TV series. But this first episode literally starts off exactly at the beginning of the first game. And what I really, really loved about this show was that it's so true to the game. It's so true to the game. Like, I was recognizing all these different environments. There's certain shots for shots. Like, there's certain moments in this episode that are exactly the same dialogue or the same exact camera shots, angles, everything that happens in the game. There's so much of it that's been put onto screen in this show that's exactly like the game, and I really do appreciate that. And it was great for me being such a fan, and my friends who also knew the game, we were all like, no way, that's exactly that moment or that scene, or I recognize that street, or I recognize that building, or the corridors, or even the colors of like the inside of the buildings, like where the fireflies are. It feels exactly like the game. And the characters, the casting, I genuinely feel like this is a really, really solid casting. Joel, let's just start with Joel. Pedro Pascal playing Joel was, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I don't know, because Joel's just a normal white guy, and Pedro Pascal's like a Latino. I think he's Spanish. I'm not sure exactly, but he's not exactly like an American white guy. So at first it was like, why are they changing it up? But then I was like, well, I love Pedro Pascal, so I can completely see him being Joel, and he is Joel. He sold me on Joel straight away. I absolutely loved him. I felt like I was watching Joel. I really, really did feel like, yes, they've nailed it with Joel. Joel's Joel. And Pedro Pascal is just such a great actor. You can see so much emotion in him. This episode really does go into emotions a lot, especially with like the first opening act. If you played the games, you know what happens in that first sort of part, the intro to The Last of Us. That's obviously shown in the series, and it's a lot more emotional because the show really gets you to spend time with specific characters, whereas in the game you don't really get to have that. And that's what I also loved about the show, was it kind of fills in the gaps. So where in the game you might come across a character and they might have a bit of dialogue and maybe sort of say where they've been, you don't really see that in the game. You just sort of come across characters and they might have a little bit of a dialogue that sort of explains what's happened to them or where they've been or something, and you can kind of get an idea of what's happened. This show so far is basically filling in all the gaps leading up to that character being present. So, you know, you meet a character, but you'll see their story before they end up meeting Joel or whatever. So that's where this show really kind of shined a lot. Well, it shined in so many ways, but I just really did appreciate the time that the writers and Neil Druckmann and everyone's created to be able to spend more time with characters so you can, you know, come to know them more or understand the story better and get a bit of backstory on certain characters. So that was really, really good, and I really, really did like that. Bella Ramsey as Ellie, this was... so many people had issues with this because Bella Ramsey just doesn't look like an Ellie. When they first cast her, I was like, really? Because there's so many actresses out there that actually look like Ellie. I think there's one actress in particular that people would always say should play Ellie. She looks just like her. I can't remember her name. If I can find it whilst I'm editing this, I'll put it on the screen now. So she looks more like Ellie, and you know, you could have chosen an actress that has more of Ellie's look, but like Bella Ramsey is a really good actress. I mean, I only ever seen her in the Game of Thrones, and she was a standout little character. She was so young, but she was such a badass, and she was such a strong character in that show. And yeah, she got a lot of attention for that, a lot of praise, a lot of positivity. So I could see her doing well, but again, she just didn't look like the Ellie that I would have picked. But after watching this first episode, I can happily say that I actually think she was great. I really, really did like her. She felt like Ellie. I feel like her voice was really close to Ellie's voice, and just I feel like she acted like Ellie. I personally felt like that, and so did two of my friends. One of my friends who hasn't played the game since it first came out did have struggles sort of getting past her being Ellie. He's a little bit unsure. He's not really sold on her being Ellie yet. But I personally, because I played the remake of The Last of Us recently, I felt like she was Ellie, and I'm really, really happy with her being Ellie now. I completely, as soon as I seen her for the first time, it was like, okay, here we go. Am I gonna enjoy this? And within moments, I was like, actually, as soon as she started speaking, actually, I was like, actually, yeah, she's pretty good, and she's a really good actress. Like, I really am looking forward to seeing more of her. So yeah, Bella Ramsey, great choice. Now, the woman who plays the character Tess, she's amazing. She just feels like a real person in that world. She's just bruised up, she's beaten, she's just a hard person, and she's a bit rough around the edges, and she feels like a really like raw character, and her acting's amazing. Really, really good. I was really, really happy with her. I mean, I was happy with everything. But then again, a new actress that I'm not familiar with is on screen playing a character that I'm really familiar with. And I was like, wow, she's so good. Like, I love her. I think she's so good. And there's a lot more story for her. There's a lot more backstory. There's a lot more story between her and Joel that I definitely don't remember in the game. And me and my friends were trying to figure out, and we're pretty sure that the stuff they kind of introduce you to with her and Joel and what their relationship's like, I really, really did like that. It's so much more story and character development for these characters, and I just really, really did enjoy seeing this and it all being a bit new. The girl who plays Joel's daughter is so good. Like, I loved her. I thought she was really, really good. Me and all my friends were really impressed by her. We really, really liked her, and she did an amazing job. I don't know who she is, but yeah, she was really, really good. Joel's brother, Tommy, who's played by, again, I don't know his name, he is so good. Like, everyone's so good. His acting and his voice acting sounds just like Tommy. Really, really, really good. I can't wait to see more of him. Just everybody so far, I really, really am impressed with. Great casting choice. Really, really good acting. Really realistic and raw acting. It feels like they really live in that world. Everyone looks exhausted and done in. The set, the environments are so well made. It looks just like The Last of Us world. It's so dense and rich within that world that is The Last of Us. This post-apocalyptic zombie world, everyone's just absolutely done in. The world's gone fucked, and you can feel that, and it's really, really good. HBO have put so much money into this. I think it's like 10 million per episode, which is more than Game of Thrones was. I think it's 100 million it's cost for the full season, for season 1. So they're throwing loads of money at it, but if you look at the reviews, it's like the highest reviewed TV show, I think, on IMDb. It's got 99%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes with like 50,000 reviews or something stupid. So they know what they're doing. So much happens in this episode, just like it does in the game. It shows you so much in the first 30 minutes or so. The episode is an hour and 20 minutes long, which I appreciate as well. I love that. It's like a little mini, well, it's like a film nearly. And I don't know how long the other episodes are going to be, but yeah, I really, really did appreciate the fact it was long. It got you to spend time with these characters, and nothing felt slowed to me. Everything felt like a really good pace. I was on the edge of my seat. I was just really, really present and invested in this whole world, and I cannot wait to see more. It leaves on a really good cliffhanger for the people that don't know what's going on. Like my friend who hasn't played it was like, whoa, what's going on? What was that? And then the episode comes to an end with an amazing shot from exactly the game. It's just so well done. I love it. Also, the music, every single time I heard the music, I was just like, yes, this is it. This is The Last of Us. It is the music from The Last of Us. They're using the same music. It is just so good. When you hear it, you're like, this is perfect. And it feels exactly like The Last of Us. I haven't seen an adaptation of a game ever this good, ever. This is so good. It's so true. And it just shows you what you get when you actually stay faithful and true to the source material. I don't get why all these different studios like Amazon are creating, and what is it, Paramount for Halo and Amazon for Lord of the Rings. I don't get why they're just doing their own thing with it, because it isn't working. Like, the Halo series was an absolute shambles. Lord of the Rings series was a massive disappointment. And it's like, it feels like they're just giving it to people that don't actually understand or know the source material. And they just must believe, oh, they've got better ideas, so they'll just write whatever they want, and they think that's going to be the best thing. And it never is. It never, ever is. You need to give it to the people that know the source material in and out, and just leave it up to them to create it or something. Just do better. Just come on, just do better. This is a perfect example of how you adapt something, and I couldn't be more happy for it. Also, I don't want to forget to mention the director and the co-producer of this show is the guy behind creating Chernobyl, and I knew, as soon as I knew that he was going to be directing it and producing it with Neil Druckmann, them two together, like, I genuinely felt like, well, you can't fail. I mean, obviously, you probably could, but I just felt like this is in great hands. Chernobyl was an amazing series. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. But if you watch Chernobyl, you'll understand how this is going to be good as well, because it's just so raw and realistic, and that's perfect for The Last of Us. So for me, if I were to give this episode a rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please drop me a like. That'd be amazing for me. Hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more of my videos. And once again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.